Applied to certified.
What is going on? Welcome to Applied to Certified. This is your number one resource for all things disadvantaged, minority-owned, women-owned business enterprise. All things dealing with certification. How do you get it? How do you leverage it? And what is this thing called supplier diversity? And how does your certification really plug into the annual goals that these organizations are setting? You know, we're talking about all things business on this platform. We're talking to business owners who have received their certification and leveraged it to build and scale their brands. And we're also going to talk to those folks inside these organizations and corporations who deal with supplier diversity on a day-to-day basis. And they're going to come on and talk about all the things that you need to know to engage with them, do business with them, and most importantly, win these contracts to build your brand. So if you're ready, I'm going to tell you right now, you better subscribe, like, and share this podcast wherever you are listening to it, because I don't want you to miss one single episode. I am your host, Sheena Thomas, founder and principal of Lingo Strategic Partners, and I am excited for what is ahead of you in today's episode. So let's get into it. Hello, what's up? How are you all doing out there? I am so excited that you're here. I'm legit like I'm about to just burst because y'all are at the very first episode of Apply to Certify. And it has taken me a long time to get comfortable with the idea of doing a podcast. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why in just a minute. But before I get to that, I'm Sheena. I'm your host. I am your everything diversity certification guru. I am here to tell you the real when it comes to DMWBE XBE certification and supplier diversity. I've been in this thing for a little over 25 years. And so after being the executive director of two regional certification agencies here in Texas, I started my company in 2016 and decided that I was going to help mitigate, bridge these gaps between business owners, folks like yourself, and access to real information to debunk a lot of the stuff that you hear about DMWBE certification and show you how valuable this tool really is to the development, the enhancement of your business. So that is a little bit about why I started this and what you're going to hear on this platform. I'm giving you the nuts and bolts. After being responsible for these programs, after being responsible for the certification of thousands of entrepreneurs, applications for DMW SBE certifications, I have realized that my presence as an advocate in this space really needs to be advocating on your behalf to get you the information that you need so that you can make an educated decision about whether or not certification is good for your business, is necessary for your business right now or later, and what are the nuances to going through these processes. You're going to hear a lot from me one-on-one. We're going to be meeting like this and talking. Yes, we are. But we're also going to have guests. Bringing in buyers from some of these major corporations and organizations to talk to you about how to do business with them, some of the things that they have seen, the trends that they are seeing in just their contracting. Why do they have these supplier diversity or MWBE programs in place? I'm going to be bringing in entrepreneurs who have gone through this process. They're certified, and they're going to talk to you about, some of the pitfalls, some of the things that they have done to leverage this certification and really help build their brand. And then I'm going to be bringing in professionals like myself, folks that have been practitioners of these programs, to just give you some more clarity around what it means to be certified. Uh, it's going to be a lot of information, y'all. But please know you will always have resources. I'm always going to provide you with links. So wherever you're listening to this, you will be able to access links to resources because information, knowledge is power. Okay. Um, so what are we talking about today? Mm. Well, today's a fun one because I usually don't lead with the why. I usually lead with the what. And I decided for this first episode, I'm going to lead with the why because if you understand why these certifications are so impactful to your business, understanding the what becomes much easier. You'll hear me use terms like alphabet soup. There's going to be so many acronyms that I'm going to throw out here. Again, you'll have access to resources. You can always find information on my webpage to help you understand more of what I'm saying. Additional videos on my YouTube channel will give you more clarity into some of the things that I'm going to be talking about on this podcast. But I think that the why you need to be certified or why should you get certified is the question that most owners are asking themselves. You're either asking yourself, why should you or why did you? Okay. The why should is because you haven't gone through the process yet. The why did is, oh, I've gone through it, but I have not done anything with this. Like this certification is not working for me. That's what I hear often. Like, this thing ain't working for me. Why did I do it? Well, let's back it up a little bit. So, why should you get certified? I'm going to give you 3 big reasons why, but I can tell you that based on the industry your business is in, services or products that you're offering, how old your business is, whether or not you have something that's innovative, that's innovating on a certain product delivery method or something to that nature. Like all of those are attributing reasons as to why a certification may or may not be beneficial for you. The first reason I'm going to drop is really you should become certified because your spend counts towards a contracting goal. Okay. So the spend, the contract. When you get certified, every year, corporations, government entities, both local, state, federal, even some of your nonprofit organizations set supplier diversity goals. And if you were around in 2020 and you were watching the news or whatever was going on TikTok or Instagram, wherever you get your news from, if you were watching it, if you were dialed in to what the country was going through, there was significant social turmoil. And when we all witnessed the murder of George Floyd, corporations clutched their pearls and immediately started talking about how are we going to make a stand, right? And so a lot of us saw these organizations putting out statements about, how they were against social injustice, how they were for police reform, how they were against racism, how they were going to improve their supplier diversity DE&I initiatives. And all of these different objectives came just swimming everywhere. I mean, I saw statements drop from just about every organization. And this is for profit, nonprofit. And so we also saw this surge of DE&I positions that were now being created or were now available. And so many of our Black and Brown sisters and brothers were hired by these corporations to come in and tell them how to fix how to fix their non-existent DE&I culture, okay? How to fix their check the box supplier diversity programs or MWBE programs, okay? Um And many of us consumers, we sat back and we just kind of watched to see what was going to happen. Well, as we've all have seen recently, um, federal, state, locally, these programs are being attacked, they're being repealed, they are being completely gutted. When you look at some of the states, and just for a point of reference, I am here in the state of Texas in the DFW area. So uh, that's all I'm gonna say about that. So yeah, a lot of these programs are being challenged. They're being sunsetted, and so there is this heightened awareness, especially in these conservative-led states, to ensure that minority owned businesses are not left out of these conversations, and that these programs that have been in place to help support the inclusion of minority owned businesses remain so. So I said all of that to say that these corporations and organizations set annual goals, annual MWBE goals, annual DBE goals, annual supplier diversity goals. And these goals are based on historical data, so what they have done in the past as far as contracting and procurement opportunities. And they're looking forward based on their current construction schedules, their current procurement schedules. What type of opportunities will they have available for minority women owned businesses? And so once they set these goals, in order to count your contract spend, the contract that you're going to win with them, in order to count that towards those goals, you have to be certified. Now, you don't have to be certified to do business with them, but if you're not certified, then they can't count your spend towards that goal. And if these organizations can get a win-win out of it, meaning they can do business with a certified business, a certified MWBE, and then they can count that spend towards their goal, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to do business with the certified MWBE. Now, it doesn't mean that once you get certified, you go into here and you are estimating all off the charts. It doesn't mean that you don't have to perform a commercially useful function. It doesn't mean that you're just going to get this contract because you're certified. Those are myths, and those are truisms also, that there isn't a contract waiting for you. You still have to go out here and sell your business. You still have to tell these entities, these organizations, why you are the value add. You don't just rest your laurels on a certification. And so that's number one. The why you should get certified. Point number one is that once you are certified, you can now have your contracted spend count towards that supplier diversity or MWBE goal. Okay. And that is a win-win for the organization. All right. Now, some of these organizations, when you're going through an RFP process, they assess points to certified businesses. They also assess points if they have a local ordinance that states that you have to be located as this, in the county or surrounding counties. There may be local preference points. So all of these things count towards your winning these contracts, and certification is one of those. Point number two is going to be your access to resources. So there are a lot of certification agencies and councils out there. You have national agencies or councils such as the National Minority Supplier Development Council. You have the Women's Business Enterprise National Council, WeBank. You have MWBE, which certifies veteran business enterprises, service-disabled veteran business enterprises. You have Disability In, which certifies disabled individual business enterprises. You also have the NGLCC, which certifies LGBTQ plus business enterprises at this national level. Some of these councils have regional councils as well. So you could be certified nationally, you could have regional certifications as well. You then also have, when you're looking at the Federal Department of Transportation side, federal DOT, you have UCPs, which are Unified Certification Programs in the majority of your states. And these UCPs are comprised of the State Department of Transportation, the FAA, so all of your major airports, as well as Federal Transit, FTA, which includes your subsystems, your train systems, your bus systems. And those UCPs certify for federal DBE, ACDBE opportunities within the Department of Transportation. Then you have, even within the UCPs, you also have regional certification agencies. Like here in the DFW area, you have the North Central Texas Regional Certification Agency. In Arlington, Texas, in San Antonio, you have the South Central Texas Regional Certification Agency, and they certify for counties in and around their area. Then you have cities, even within the Unified Certification Program, that certify not only for the federal DBE program, but they also have local designations such as MBE, WBE. In San Antonio, they had African American Business Enterprise, they had Hispanic American Business Enterprise. They had a different caveat of service disabled veteran business enterprise. So a lot of your local cities and counties will have their own designations that they recognize, but they also flow up to these federal programs. Okay. Then you have your local certifiers. You have your cities, you have your counties that certify as well. So there are a lot of steps to this certification. There are different certifications out there. And so when we talk about access to resources, we're talking about access to buyers at all these different levels. We're talking about access to contracting opportunities at all these different levels. We're talking about access to networking at all these different levels. We're talking about access to expos and conferences at all these different levels. And so certification gives you access, especially if you're a part of these national and regional councils, because the majority of your councils have a very large corporate base, meaning corporations pay to be members of these councils so that they can get access to the certified businesses. I just said a whole lot right there. That was a whole lot. So you're probably going to have to like rewind this and go back and listen to it again. But what happens most times is your councils will hold like quarterly or monthly meet the buyer sessions. Meet the buyer is an opportunity for you to meet buyers within these organizations. So let's just say, for instance, you're trying to do business with like Bell Helicopter or Coca-Cola or the Mavericks or, you know, the Lakers, whoever it may be. Okay. They may be a part of these councils. And so their buyers may be in spaces that you as a member have access to. Okay. As a member, you may get a reduced ticket. It may be a part of your membership, but you get to attend these luncheons, breakfasts, and networkers. The buyers are the ones that really make the decisions at the end of the day. I tell owners all the time, it's great to know the president. It's great to know the vice president. That's perfect. But they are not the ones that are making the ultimate buying decision. And for a lot of organizations, your buyers are making those decisions. Your buyers have a set of procurements that they are responsible for. And so they manage those. And when it comes time for that procurement to be renewed, or when it's time for a new procurement opportunity that comes up, it's the buyers that you need to have a relationship with. So being able to touch bases with those buyers and create those relationships is going to be key for you. And so certification provides you with access to those types of partnerships and relationships. The third thing is going to be subcontracting opportunities. And I'm going to say this very clearly. When you get certified, 9 times out of 10, you are going to end up doing business with another company, not with a large organization, not with an entity, not with a governmental organization or even a corporation. It may be with a prime contractor or a prime consultant, meaning there is someone that has this direct contract with Corporation A. And as a part of the supplier diversity program, they have to extend subcontracting opportunities to other small minority women owned businesses. And so you can come in as a subcontractor or a subconsultant. I've done it. This is how you develop capacity in these spaces, especially if you're a startup. So by being certified, this prime can now say, oh, guess what? I found a certified woman-owned, minority-owned business that I can bring on as a subconsultant, subcontractor, and now I am meeting my flow down supplier diversity or MWBE goal. Okay. So that's the third reason why being certified is beneficial for you, why you should consider it, is that there are always subcontracting opportunities. The other thing is, you may be going after an opportunity, and in the midst of it, they tell you, oh, we need you to be certified, or it'd be better if you are certified, or as we're doing this evaluation, certification is a part of the criteria. If you don't have that certification in place, you're going to miss those points. You're going to probably miss that opportunity. And getting certified for an opportunity is virtually impossible because certification processes normally take between 45 to 90 days. Yeah. Yeah. And that's after you submit your application. Okay. So, another reason, number 4, that you should consider getting certified is get it out of the way so that you can have it in place. So, when you are out here doing these networkers, when you are out here meeting with these buyers, when that opportunity comes along, you can go for it. Because once something hits the streets, and you'll hear this more often if you haven't been in the supplier diversity world very long, but when we say hit the streets, that means that everybody and their mama knows that this is an opportunity. There's a bid that's hit the street, the RFP is already out. And once that happens, it's too late to be worried about trying to get certified. You need to move forward trying to bid on it, and hopefully you win it and don't necessarily need those MWBE points to win the actual bid or win that RFP. But it's too late at that point for you to try to engage a certification agency just for that opportunity. You should still go through with it, but just know that that certification is not going to be in place in advance of you needing to submit your response. Okay. So those are the 4 reasons why you should consider certification. Now, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, make sure that it makes sense for your business. Okay. Because it may not make sense. True story. I didn't get certified until I was asked by a friend of mine who is also a consultant to get certified so that I could go in as a sub-consultant on a project with them. Because my client doesn't require for me to be certified. When I'm going into organizations to build supplier diversity programs, they don't have a program in place. So there's nothing that my contract is going to count towards. So in essence, it didn't make sense for me at that time. Now I'm certified now, and I've decided to go after, my council certifications. I'll be going after my EDWOSB certification through the SBA. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. You got 2, 3, go ahead and get the rest. But it has to make sense for your business also, and it may not, which is why you also need to do your due diligence when you're looking at potential organizations and clients. Like, do they even buy your service or product? Because if they're not buying it, it may not be a benefit to you to get certified, to sell it to them if that's not something that they're going to buy. Look at your landscape of who your client is. If you're not doing business with organizations that have supplier diversity programs in place, or that are governmental agencies, state agencies, things of that sort, it may not make sense for you to get certified. It might not. Okay. But these are all things that you need to consider in addition to the 4 reasons of why that I've given you. Also, make sure that you can get that return on your investment, because with all these certifications, except for your federal designation. So the SBA is a self certification. I will speak to that in another episode. Um, the DBE, ACDBE are free certifications. The federal government does not allow any agency to charge for the application process of those certifications. But your other designations, those that you get through the council, those that you get through a specific chamber or organization, even your regional certification agencies here in the DFW area are going to charge you an application fee. So you need to be sure that there is a return on this investment. And while it's a nominal fee, $270, $370 here and there, as a business owner, anything that you are having to expense, anything that you're going to spend, you need to be sure that there is a return on that investment. So making sure that if you go after this certification, you're going to be able to support why it's necessary for you to continue to keep the certification in place and how you're paying for it. Now, any contract you get is going to be more, 10 times more, 20 times more than what you pay for the certification. But at the end of the day, make sure that you can identify what your ROI is going to be. So those are some things to definitely consider. And then another thing, and this, I'm kind of getting into how to choose your certification, and I'll go through a little bit more of that later in another episode. But, also, as I said, consider your client and where the money is coming from. Okay. Depending on what type of opportunity it is and how it's funded, is definitely going to make a difference in which certification you get. So, why should you get certified? Quick recap. It counts towards that annual spend goal. Okay. And some of these corporations are doing like 35% with MWBEs. It's not unheard of. If you walk into an organization and they're like, oh, we can only do 15%, they're a 15% lie, because capacity and capability are out there. Okay. There's no reason why an organization should have a 15% goal at all, at all, at all, at all, at all. But you count towards that goal. The other thing is that you get these access to resources. Okay. And it's more than just to meet the buyer, but you have access to, individuals, these networkers. You have access to just build and scale your business, access to other individuals in spaces of business that can help support you. And then you get these subcontracting opportunities. And this is really the way to build your brand, you guys. Don't think that you have to get certified and then only do business with a contract owner. Subcontracting opportunities are a great way to build your brand. And there are some companies that have subcontracted like forever. Okay. Don't knock somebody's game. If it's working, it's working. They're scaling. And then, of course, make sure that you're doing your due diligence, making sure that it makes sense for your business. All right. So that's what I'm going to leave y'all with today. All right. Why you should get certified. So hopefully this is giving you some insight into how these certifications can be valuable to your business. Again, I thank y'all for joining me. I was nervous as all get out to do this. But I made it through my first one. Whoop, whoop. We made it through the first one. Okay. So again, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you like, share this podcast. I really want this to become the resource for all things XBE. I'm going to explain what XBE really is in another episode coming up very soon. But just know that this is going to be a point of resource for you. And all of those in your ecosystem, in your sphere. So with that, y'all, please subscribe. I cannot say it again. Subscribe, share, like. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you might want to hear. Our next episode is coming very, very soon. Be sure to connect with me on all of my social media platforms, as well as you can find additional information on Lingo Strategic Partners, LSP, and what we do at lengofocus.com. That's lingofocus.com. And then again, connect with me on social media, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always dropping additional information, as well as making sure that you're aware of opportunities that are coming up in your area, to meet, greet, and expand your network. So until the next time, y'all, I'll see you back here at Applied to Certified. Y'all be well. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that episode as much as I did. It's always a pleasure to bring salient information to help you make better decisions about your business, especially when it applies to DMWBE certification and how it can really help you leverage and scale your business. So please be sure to subscribe, like, and share this podcast on whatever platform you are listening. I appreciate you being here. And until next time, don't be a stranger. Connect with me on social media. Shoot me an email. Let me know what you think. Drop some comments below. And yeah, we'll be talking soon. Y'all be well.
Applied to Certified.